Please come to tabletop position on your hands and your knees, and we'll start with some rolls. So barrel roll with your chest. It's like cat-cow, but you're adding in a side stretch. So really getting into every nook and cranny here. And then switch directions. If you haven't yet, go the other way. Breathe as you do this, so just waking up. Tuck your toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Keep lifting the pelvis up quite high. And come onto your tippy toes, roll forward, round your spine, drop your hips. Inhale for upward facing dog, and lead with the hips, down dog. Again, lift the toes, round the upper spine, mid-spine, and then drop the hips, open the collarbones, open the sides of your chest, look up. Exhale, lift the hips, down dog. Breathe. And again, lift the heels up, round your spine forward like you're a slinky, and then drop the hips, open the chest, the heart. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Come forward into plank. Let's move to side plank. Right hand on the floor. Come onto the right pinky edge side of your foot. Peace fingers, grab onto the big toe and reach that big toe up. And then bend the knee, hold onto your foot, reach it behind you a little bit until the foot drops onto the floor. Wild thing with the left hand behind your head. Back to downward facing dog, side plank on the second side. Left hand down. Lift the right leg, grab onto those toes if you can. This is optional, you can just stay in side plank. And then bend the knee, hold onto the foot behind you to lift the chest. Drop both feet, open into your wild thing. Both hands onto the floor, back towards your downward facing dog. Take a moment to settle and breathe in down dog. And then bend the knees, hop forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Press your feet down, roll your spine up, tuck your tailbone in. Reach your arms up, hold on to your elbows, lean to the right. Inhale, center, lean to the left. And inhale back to center. And release your hands behind you, pull the fist down, lower the hips, straighten out the legs a little bit as the hands go overhead. Hands to your shins, inhale, halfway lift, exhale, refold. Roll yourself up again, one vertebra at a time. Opposite elbow on top, lean to the left, exhale, inhale, center, lean to the right, exhale, inhale, center. Hinge forward at your hips. Interlace your hands, put the weird finger on top, the one you don't naturally do. Let the arms come overhead. Left hand on the floor, stretch the right arm up, so open your chest, bend the left knee as you do this. And switch sides, right hand down, left arm up, bend the right knee. Both hands back onto the floor, and we're going to hop back towards your downward facing dog. However you want to get to down dog, that's where we'll meet. Inhale, come forward, back into your upward facing dog, letting the hips drop and lift the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, hop forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. From the feet down, inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Open your feet wide on your mat, a leg's distance apart or maybe even wider. And then rotate your feet to the front, warrior one in your legs, but with your arms to the side. And we'll do this back and forth. So lift the left heel, toes point forward. And then pivot, left toes in, right toes out, bend the right knee. Pivot back through center, hands onto your hips, prasarita, and exhale, fold forward. Lengthen out the spine, hold on to your ankles, pull yourself forward. You can rock a little bit side to side if that feels good, still waking up. Bring your hands to your hips, inhale, come up, and then step forward to the front of your mat. Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, we're going to hop back to downward facing dog. Chaturanga, onto your belly. Okay, hands by your sides. Lift your legs. Lift your arms out in both directions. So really lifting the chest, lift the legs. can maybe even reach your arms back. We're in Shalabhasana here. Bring your hands back down to the earth and downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Twirl the right foot. And then exhale, right foot on the floor. Drop the left heel. Bend into the right knee. Reach your arms up high. Breathe in. And then eagle arms. Right arm underneath the left. Wrap once and then twice. If you can, if you want to. Warrior 3 with the eagle arms. Launch forward all the way on your right foot. Lift the left inner thigh up. Stretch your chest forward. Release the right hand down. Open the hip. Left hip stacks on top of the right. Bend the left knee. Reach for that foot and you can kick your foot into your hand. Step way back with the left foot for triangle pose. Elongate through your spine. Purposefully reach out your arms and then maybe reach the right arm forward to go deeper into your core. Bend into your right knee and now extended side angle. Reach the left arm overhead. Left hand comes behind you. Search for fingertips for a bind. Keep reaching the chest forward and spiraling open. Both hands onto the floor. Ekapada Kundalini. Maybe a chin stand. Lower your chin and lift your legs up. Oh, maybe even bend your knees and bring those feet to your head, and then we'll roll back onto our bellies. That was a lot. Upward facing dog, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Always coming back to the breath. Go at your own pace. Lift the left leg up. Twirl the ankle a little bit. And then step the left foot forward. Drop the right heel, come up towards your warrior 2 with your arms spread like an airplane, or like warrior 2, really. And then eagle arms. Wrap the left arm underneath the right once or twice. Warrior 3 with the eagle arms. Lift the right inner thigh up. Keep stretching your chest forward. Reach out through the right ball of your foot. Left hand comes onto the floor. Open the right hip and keep lots of energy in both legs. Bend the top knee. Reach for that foot with your hand. Kick the foot into your hand. And then step back towards your triangle pose. This is a lot of balancing, so please take your time. Bottom hand can reach forward, really getting into your core. And then when you're ready, bend into the left knee. Left hand down, right arm reaches all the way forward. Find a bind here, left arm under, right hand behind you, reach your chest forward, and then both hands down, play with your balance. So I always cheat, my right hip is on top of your right elbow. You can do that if you're just learning, but eventually try to not rely on your elbows. You can take a moment to just lay on the floor and then lift yourself up for Shalabhasana. Again, use the back body. Hands down, press into plank pose, downward facing dog. Remember, we're doing this all with our breath. So remember to breathe. Bend into the knees, look forward, and then you can give yourself a couple handstand hops, trying to get a little air time. And forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Feet down, reach your arms up. Good. And then arms are lifting. Big breath in. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And we'll play with some more handstand hops again. Try to get your hips on top of your shoulders. And here I fell into wheel pose, but you don't have to fall. You can come to the wall, do a couple of handstand hip kicks. Child's pose is fine as well. We're going to meet standing. Moving to some more balancing poses, starting standing on the left leg. Interlace the peace fingers around the right toe and extend the right leg forward. You can always just hold the right knee in front of you as well. Left hand on your left hip, keep squeezing both hips into the midline, and if you wobble a little bit, that's okay. Open the right leg over to the right, and then come back to center. Move as you breathe. Left hand onto the left outer pinky edge side of that right foot to twist. And then guide the foot on top of the left knee and fold so you are in a figure 4 position. Option to plant your hands on the floor and maybe begin to lift the left leg up towards the ceiling, but that's just an option. Of course, you don't have to do so. Both hands on the ground again and press your hands back so we are magically back in down dog. Come forward into a forward fold. However you want to get there, go for it. And again, I fell. Please don't fall. And we'll meet in we'll meet back standing. Take your time in Tadasana. Take some breaths in and out, in and out. And now let's practice on the second side. Right foot is sturdy on the ground. Pinky finger or peace fingers around the left big toe. Reach the left leg out. Find your balance. Open the left leg out to the left. So this is just like triangle pose. And then bring the left leg back towards center. Right hand holds onto the outer foot. You can always do this just grabbing onto your knee. And we're twisting. Guide the left foot on top of the right knee. Sit your sit bones back behind you and either stay like this, just stretching out your left hip, or hands plant onto the floor. Left toes wrap around the right tricep and left knee is on your left tricep, and maybe lift the right leg up. You can't see much of me, you can just see my leg. And step back into downward facing dog. Whatever you're doing, that's where we'll meet. Drop your forearms onto the floor, shoulder distance apart. Lift the right leg up. You can come to a wall here. We're going to do some forearm stand play. Stretching that right leg way up, and then the left leg might lift. Strong through both legs. Keep pressing both elbows down. Hands are on the floor as well, on the ground. Try to find your balance. Keep pulling your core in, your ribs in. And when you're ready, switch sides. Make sure you try to kick up with both sides. Stretch through that top leg. You can bend the bottom knee. Finding some balance. Squeeze everything to the midline. If both of your legs are up, squeeze the heels towards each other. Just squeezing the core in. And then both knees drop onto the floor, child's pose. Give yourself a much deserved break. You don't need to do anything to deserve a break. You always deserve some rest. And just remind yourself of that. Come onto your back as casually as you can. Feet are on the ground, hands next to your heels, and then lift the hips up. Use your glutes to lift the hips, especially the bottom glutes where the glutes meet the hamstrings. Take a few breaths here in bridge pose. Roll your shoulders underneath you. Option to do that. Interlace your fingers and tuck the bottom pinky finger under. Lift the hips. Lower the hips down. Reach your arms up overhead. We'll do some wheels. If you don't want to do wheel, do another bridge pose. Maybe even put a block underneath you. And then hands on the floor, press down into your feet and your hands to lift up towards Urdhva Dhanurasana, wheel pose. In wheel pose, you can bend into your knees a little bit, have your sacrum move towards your knees, so tailbone's reaching towards the knees, and chest reaches the other way. Stay up there as long as you want to, 5 to 10 breaths. If you feel like going deeper, drop your head, lower your forearms onto the floor one at a time, and then lift your head back up. Walk your feet out a little bit. Maybe lift one leg at a time. It's asking a lot, especially of your back body. This is just an option, of course. You can be in a restorative back bend as well here. Everything works. Whatever you do, you're still a good person. And then we'll come back down, so tuck your chin, upper back drops first, settle onto your back, let yourself just chill here, feel everything you just did. Let's do some core integration, so some twists with your abs, arms down, bend your knees, and then knees can go side to side. You can also straighten your legs and then have your straight legs go side to side, or keep the knees bent. Trying to get your feet going all the way up towards your opposite shoulder area. And again, here we're using our core. It's good to do some core after you do back bends to re-stabilize the spine. And same idea with twists. We're just recentering the spine. Keep both bent knees on top of your hips. Press your hands onto your thighs. Pull your ribs down, pull your low belly down, and maybe lift your head, neck, and shoulders, and keep pressing your legs away. And then lower your feet down so they're 6 inches above the ground, and give yourself some flutter kicks like you're swimming or like you are a butterfly. Pull your knees in towards your chest and come back to a seat. Open your legs wide. Here you can bring a blanket underneath your bum so your spine is up nice and tall. Maybe begin to walk your torso over your right leg. But both sit bones are still on the floor, and doing so to keep the spine elongated. So beware when you begin to round. And here we're focusing on lengthening the spine. And then switch legs. Bend your left knee. Bring the left elbow to that knee to encourage a twist in your upper back. If you want to bind, go for it. Otherwise, just left elbow and left knee are pressing into each other. Same thing, second side. Bend the right knee. Keep pressing the right elbow and the right knee against each other to open, to twist the upper back. Binds are optional. Bring both soles of your feet towards each other, knees open wide, hands go onto your feet, and bow forward. Elbows press the knees down so you're opening your inner thighs. Baddha Konasana should feel good, rounding the spine. Double pigeon or fire log. If this doesn't work, come into Sukhasana or cross your shins. Otherwise, the left shin lands on top of the right shin. Both shins are stacked, both feet are flexed. Maybe fold forward. You'll feel this in your outer hips. Think Sphinx pose in your chest, so elbows on the floor, but keep reaching your heart forward. Breathe here. And we'll simply switch sides. So opposite shin on top. Flex both feet. Walk yourself forward. Pull your chest forward. Breathe in and out of the nose. Extend the legs out in front of you, Dandasana. And then begin to reach forward, reaching from the inside of your spine. So the spine that's like touching your belly, reach from there forward. Maybe hold on to your hands, but of course you don't have to. It's also really helpful to sit up on some props during Paschimottanasana. Stay there a little bit longer. If you want to end with a headstand, I'm going to do a tripod headstand. So for tripod handstand, hands on the floor, like chaturanga, and then drop your head onto the floor so it creates a triangle. Knees go onto your elbows, and then lift your legs up, preferably both at the same time so you really stay integrated in your core. Be really patient with yourself and take your time. You can also do Shirshasana with your hands interlaced and your arms making a triangle with the forearms on the floor rather than the tripod headstand. Practice against a wall, or just totally skip this. You can have your legs up the wall instead as your inversion. Just recentering everything. Take as many breaths as you want to. Try to come down gracefully. Come towards laying on your back with your arms on the floor just like you're laying on the beach, and let your head drop behind you, opening up your throat again. And that was our final pose before Shavasana. So now in Shavasana, please get yourself nice and set up. Do something luxurious. Feet can be wide. Relax your arms. Relax everything you can, and here just trust that you know what to do. Gently close the eyes. Let everything go. Begin to awaken, breathe heavier, roll to one side, and take your time to come into a seat. Rub your hands together. You can cover your eyes with your hands, giving yourself some nice healing energy. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you feel good and refreshed.